I'm Craig Thompson, the Secretary Designee for the Department of Transportation, and I'm really happy to be here this morning at the University of Oshkosh. Today we're celebrating the initiation of a new Amtrak Thruway bus service. This service runs along Interstate 41 between Green Bay and Milwaukee. Passengers can easily use the bus to connect to a train that can take them to Chicago. We're also celebrating an additional bus option for residents and visitors traveling to and from Green Bay, the Fox Cities, Oshkosh, and Fond du Lac. With the new service, city-to-city transportation options along the I-41 corridor have increased from 1 round trip per day to 3 round trips per day. But this is more than about just shiny new buses. For these communities, this means more options to get to Milwaukee, connect to flights at Milwaukee Airport, and to get to Chicago via quick and easy connections to Amtrak Hiawatha trains. We want to ensure that Wisconsin's investment in Interstate 41 leads to multimodal improvements and maximizes the benefits to the region. You know, in this recent budget, there was money included, and we're going to be improving Interstate 41 between Appleton and Green Bay, and we're proud of that. But traveling by car should be an option, not the only option. We understand that we can't rely solely on private vehicle transportation to attract economic growth and business, retain employees in the region, and support our educational institutions. Enhanced linkages to the economic engines of Milwaukee and Chicago will help the business community in the New North to continue to thrive. This means being able to meet with business partners in Chicago and return home the same day, or attending a conference in St. Louis by traveling by Amtrak Midwest through connections through Union Station. For students here, this means connecting to home without having to ask family members or friends for a ride. For visitors, this means improving transportation to major events in the region, like the EAA, to conferences in Appleton, to Packer games in Green Bay, where they can see the undefeated Green Bay Packers, and more. This bus service ties the popular Amtrak Hiawatha trains between Milwaukee and Chicago. The Hiawatha service is one of the most successful rail corridors in the country and provides vital linkages for the state of Wisconsin. We're advancing improvements to the Hiawatha service with new coach cars and eventually additional frequency. We know that there are already many people who live along I-41 who drive to Milwaukee and use the Hiawatha service, and this will provide another option for them to leave their car closer to home. With us today are our partners in local transit. We want to emphasize that this new service is intended to be part of a transportation system for the whole region. We believe this will have positive impacts for the business in the region. I want to thank Mayor Palmieri for being here, thank Jim Collins, the City of Oshkosh Transportation Director, for joining us today and helping us bring this service to your community. And thanks to Ben Richardson, who is the Transportation Director here at UW-Oshkosh. We appreciate his assistance with the logistics and in sharing this with new students. I'd also like to acknowledge Wisconsin Coach Lines, who operates this service. The president, Tom Dinkelman, has joined us today, and we're being driven by Ken Bell, one of the regular service drivers. With that, I'd like to call on Mark ROHLOFF, the Oshkosh City Manager, to share a few remarks. Mark?
Thanks, Secretary Thompson. Welcome to Oshkosh. Always a pleasure to have you here. This really represents, the Amtrak service through Oshkosh represents so many things. One, it represents a recognition that the Fox Valley, from Green Bay down to Fond du Lac, is a vital part of our economy in the state of Wisconsin. And adding this transportation corridor for residents and business and a lot of visitors who want to come up to the valley to enjoy all the amenities that we have here. I've been a happy customer, a happy passenger on the Hiawatha service, and I recognize the value it has already to go to Chicago for all the things that Secretary Thompson mentioned. Adding the service to extend up into the Fox Valley is certainly a wonderful addition for the university, but also for any other folks. A lot of people come up here during the EAA convention and stay right here at the university. This will enable them to come up here with some reliable transportation. A lot of it is catch as catch can, especially when you got a few 100,000 people descending upon Oshkosh in 1 week. This adds that element. And then, of course, it also integrates very well with our local transit service. Jim Collins and I had the opportunity to give a little tour of our latest addition to our Go Transit bus fleet right here. It does fit in with everything that we're doing, so we're happy to be part of that integrated, as Secretary Thompson said, multimodal. However you get to your destination, it may be a variety of ways, and this will help reduce traffic congestion along I-41. We're so happy that the DOT has invested in I-41 and it's going to continue to do it. And this is just one more way to stretch the service that is provided, whether it's a local bus service or through the Amtrak system. So, Secretary Thompson, thank you. Thank you for everybody with the Department of Transportation that's been working on this project for so long, and of course Amtrak for, while we can't get rails up here at Oshkosh, it's a great connection to that, and we're looking forward to having this service available for all of us. So thank you once again, and it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Cheryl Green. Dr. Green is the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs here at UW-Oshkosh, and she was on a bit of a short-term gig down at UW-Whitewater, so we're happy to have her back here with the Titans rather than down with those folks in Whitewater. So welcome back, Cheryl.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. It is a great day in the land of the Titans. I'd like to welcome Secretary Thompson, City Manager ROHLOFF, Mr. White of the Greater Oshkosh Economic Development Corporation, and Mr. James of Amtrak Government Affairs, as well as Mayor Palmieri. Again, my name is Cheryl Green, and I serve as the Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs at the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh. This year, our multi-campus university will enroll approximately 16,000 students. These are students who are aspiring to earn a college degree, and they are sometimes faced with challenges affecting their rate of degree completion. One of the barriers frequently cited faced by community college students, rural citizens, and low-income students involves limited transportation resources for travel to and from school and work. Transportation barriers include a focus on cost and affordability, route frequencies and schedules, housing and work proximity, and reliability and quality. To address these barriers, colleges like the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh and mass transit systems need to collaborate and cost share in ways that benefit our students, faculty, and staff. The good news is that this type of collaboration can yield increased ridership for public transportation, increased retention for students at colleges and universities, which can yield revenue increases for both. On behalf of the 16,000 students at this university, I would like to express my sincere appreciation and gratitude to the Wisconsin Department of Transportation and to the Amtrak officials for having the vision and the drive, no pun intended, to expand transportation services to the Fox Valley region. The University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh values increased accessibility that the Amtrak Thruway bus service will provide for the Fox Cities, Fond du Lac, and Oshkosh campuses. This fall, we have also enrolled hundreds of students from the Illinois and Chicago area, as well as Milwaukee County areas. The expansion of resources to major transportation hubs like Chicago and Milwaukee will allow our students, faculty, staff, and area residents to have easier commutes to family, friends, school, and work. We understand that when you increase the transportation resources in a geographic location, you also multiply the opportunities for workforce mobilization, economic productivity, and also for community engagement. And this leads to a richer and more vibrant community connection and quality of life for all involved. Thank you again for your investment in the Fox Cities, Fond du Lac, and Oshkosh communities, and we welcome you today. Our next speaker will be Mr. White of the Greater Oshkosh Economic Development Corporation. Mr. White.
Hello, my name is Jason White, and I serve as the President and CEO of the Greater Oshkosh Economic Development Corporation. I want to welcome our friends, partners, and colleagues to Oshkosh here this morning. Thank you, Secretary Thompson, for joining us and delivering this important announcement to the Greater Oshkosh residents and businesses of our community. The new Amtrak Thruway demonstrates the innovative public-private partnership solutions that can occur for creating workforce and economic development opportunities. Our organization takes seriously the issues of mobility as it relates to helping companies recruit and retain talent, and for individuals to secure and keep employment. The economy of Northeast Wisconsin region, home to several economically strong mid-sized metropolitan regions, is interconnected in many ways. The I-41 corridor is populated with vehicles 24/7 of people traveling from one region to another for work. For example, nearly 46,000 people commute to Winnebago County for employment, and nearly 36,000 live in Winnebago County but commute to another county for work each day. The number one industry in Greater Oshkosh and Winnebago County is manufacturing. Many of our manufacturing companies are multi-generational family-owned companies. Others are publicly traded with international name recognition. Others are emerging small businesses and entrepreneurs. A number of our firms have multiple work shifts to meet production demands and would like to if they can find enough workers. We have a duty to protect, preserve, and build upon these investments that these companies have made throughout the years. These companies cannot grow without human capital support. So again, on behalf of the Greater Oshkosh Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors and staff, thank you to the Wisconsin DOT and Amtrak for spearheading this initiative and partnering with all of us to grow our great state. And at this point, it is my pleasure to introduce and bring forward Derrick James, Senior Manager, Government Affairs of Amtrak.
Good morning, Oshkosh. Thank you, Jason. We are so glad to be here. Thanks so much for coming out to support us in this wonderful expansion of our service. Amtrak, first of all, greetings from Amtrak CEO, Mr. Richard Anderson, and the 20,000 employees of mine around the system who are running the nation's passenger rail system. Also, a special thanks to my colleague from Philadelphia who's joined me, Mr. Adam Crom. He's our Director of Connectivity. He's the one that spearheads and helps to put together these types of services. Amtrak operates a 21,000-mile route network of 305 daily trains across the U.S. and to 3 Canadian provinces. These trains are able to connect families, educators, students, entrepreneurs, and adventurers to the places that they want to go. When most people think of Amtrak, though, they think of trains. But through our partnerships with forward-thinking organizations like Wisconsin DOT and Wisconsin Coach Lines, we're able to expand that rail network to actually cover and provide mobility options to 900 places around the country. Through our partnerships with Coach Lines, through our partnerships with ferry services, we've become a real ground transportation network for the nation. And that's about mobility. Mobility is freedom. I think the Vice Chancellor talked about that a little bit, and the role that mobility and people being able to get to and fro is real important, not only for our economy, but for providing the quality of life that makes the Fox Valley cities a place that people not only want to visit, but they want to stay and live and set down roots. In this age of nonstop communication and always traffic congestion, We're ready to provide a travel option that allows doers and goers to finish that presentation, to digest that report, to take a nap, to have a cocktail, or just look out the window and daydream as they speed to their destination on a comfortable Wisconsin coach to get to the Milwaukee station and then get on a comfortable Amtrak train to reach the nation. This new Amtrak Thruway coach connection opens up a nation of possibilities. Chicagoans with business in Oshkosh can have more productive, comfortable travel options. Colleges and university students and their parents can feel better about a safer trip to and from campus. Accessing Milwaukee Airport or Amtrak's scenic long-distance sleeper network just got a little easier to complete that bucket list trip. Amtrak Thruway can become your everyday commuting option. 2, because we've got discounted multi-ride tickets for folks who want to take multiple trips, and we've got Wi-Fi on board. So save your nerves and save your car. Welcome aboard. We're glad to have you. Thank you.